Hey guys, K-pop nerd here. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video will be on what K-pop groups I think will be extremely successful in 2020 and what groups may not be as successful or will be on hiatus or may even disband in 2020. Let's get into the video.
Come play me. Don't be afraid.
So, before we start, these are opinions, so please do not falter me on my thoughts. If you think differently, let's talk about it. Leave your predictions in the comments down below. Let's get on with the video. So a few K-pop groups have announced that they will be having some sort of tour in 2020, and based on that fact, they're more likely or will be having a comeback in addition to going on tour. So after doing a quick Google search, it's confirmed that BTS, AB6, Eric Nam, Stray Kids, ATEEZ, and Hyukoh so far will be having a tour in 2020. Now, I'm only familiar with BTS, ATEEZ, and Eric Nam. I know Eric Nam isn't a K-pop artist, but he is going on tour and he's a Korean artist, so I wanted to include him in this. Plus he's amazing. But I'm excited for all these tours. BTS has been blowing it up for the longest time. There's no doubt in my mind that BTS will have another prosperous year. ATEEZ has been killing it as well, and I love their songs and I can't wait to see what they come up with next. Eric Nam is a wonderful guy and he's funny and I love his voice, love his music. I'm more likely to see him in concert because, you know, usually K-pop groups, at least in my circumstance, when they go on tour, they don't come to the state I reside in, or they'll go to a neighboring state that I'm not familiar with or that I'm just not close to at all. This is the most unfortunate part of this video to me. I'm sure at this point everyone is aware of Wendy's injuries due to rehearsing for the SBS concert. Although Red Velvet will be continuing doing their individual and MC performances for the event, they aren't going to be performing as a group. This makes me think that Wendy, you know, until she fully recovers, that Red Velvet won't be doing group promotions. I want to speak this into existence that Wendy will fully recover and will be able to continue being on stage with her group members. Positive thoughts and get well soon, Wendy. Other than that, I don't think Red Velvet's gonna be having too much of a good year, at least not as a group. They may still do solo or like really solo singles, and or maybe even do like a small subunit or collab with other artists, but I don't think they're gonna be doing any promotions as a group. Moving on, I think that EXO may be another group to go on a small break, not necessarily like a hiatus, but you know, they might not perform as a whole group. With Jimin and Dio both enlisting in 2019, there will be less group members that will promote with the group. Now, they could do the subunits, but they can't do CBX because Jimin, you know, he enlisted in the military, so they can't do CBX. They could probably do SC, which is with Sehun and Chanyeol. They could probably do that one. I can't remember the other subunits off the top of my head, but maybe they'll just come up with another subunit and go from there. But as a group itself, I don't think they will. Plus, with Super M debuting in 2019, I think that Super M will be promoting more frequently instead of EXO. And I love EXO, but I just don't think they'll be promoting as a group or have too much stuff going on in 2020. Individual promotions, yes, definitely. And I'm saying that more so with Lay because he's already doing his own thing in China. But, you know, I just don't think it'll be too grand with EXO. I really don't. Moving on, Big Bang. This is honestly going beyond 2020, but I don't think Big Bang will have any sort of promotional activities for a long time. With the sex and drugs scandals involving Seungri, YG's previous CEO, and the others will definitely take a toll on the group and actually in the company as a whole, speaking of YG Entertainment. I think the company is definitely going downhill. Several artists have left YG Entertainment after everything that's happened. But then again, at the same time, when I did a Google search on YG Entertainment, their stock prices have apparently went up. I don't know how accurate that is, but I mean, I don't think YG will be having anything too spectacular for 2020. I think it'll be a slow transition for other future artists to move away from the label. I believe Blackpink is under YG Entertainment, so I don't know if they'll leave the label, at least not right away. Regardless, Blackpink will be fine, and I'm sure the other artists will be as well. But, you know, I just don't see YG Entertainment doing too much for 2020 as well. Moving on, Queendom. You guys have seen that show, right? Ended not too long ago. Mamamoo was the winner of Queendom, but I'm bringing up the show again for another reason. Ever since Queendom has went on air, the female contestants have been more active on social media, which I think is a beautiful thing. And I personally haven't heard of AOA, Lovelyz, Oh My Girl, and Park Bom until after the show had started. And I think at this current time, because of Mamamoo and G-Idol's popularity, it attracted new K-pop fans to the show that weren't familiar with the other contestants, and it gave new recognition and larger fan base for the other groups. Or we can reverse that. Let's say you already knew of Lovelyz and AOA or whoever else, but not, other contestants. Again, more exposure for the other groups. And Park Bom. So I think that all the contestants at some point in 2020 will have promotional material coming out. Doesn't have to be a comeback necessarily, but that's what I think. Right, so here's a short list of who I think will do well in 2020 and who will be less successful in 2020. I didn't want the video getting too long, so I just made a list for anyone that I didn't involve or talk about. And, you can also say this is part of my own personal bias since I enjoy these groups. And really, I enjoy all of these groups, but based on what I've seen on the news, for example, with Momoland, losing a member. I can't think of her name right now. I can't remember everyone's names, I'm sorry. But just based on little details like that, it's like, well, maybe they won't be as successful in 2020. So that's my thoughts. And I don't have the list being too huge because I don't know a bunch of K-pop groups. That's why I want to invite you guys into the discussion. Like, what are your K-pop 2020 predictions? If there was anyone that I left out, leave your comments down below, or let's talk about it. Do you disagree with what I have or what I said? Let me know. Let's just talk about it. But I want to thank everyone for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to my channel, and I hope to hear from everyone. See you later. I just wanna make you